What is good? We're back. We got some moves to make. Well, kind of what's your first worth? You know, kind of an extension of the last episode we did. We talked about the top 5 running backs and gauged them against the veterans and who we take and kind of just give you an idea of the value of where your first round pick is. And we didn't want to leave out all the other guys because we think there's some really good players in the rest of the first round. And some guys may have just arrived in the first round, like a Matthew Golden. So let's figure out which veterans would be around when kind of a would you rather dynasty price check, however you want to phrase this thing. Let's jump into it. Austin, of course, don't want to forget to introduce my man, Austin Abbott. Make sure you go check him out on the Twitters at Austin Abbott FF, 2 B's, 2 T's, 2 F's. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Just got back from the NFL Combine, and we are talking rookies, so I can't complain, you know. Well, weather sucks in New Jersey. Besides that, I can't complain, you know.
Yeah, well, we just had schools closed for a thunderstorm, so that was interesting. But other than that, weather's been great in South Carolina. Come on down. All right, let's jump into this. And let's, like I said, we started with the top 5 running backs in the class on the last episode, and let's jump in with Tetairoa McMillan. Put him up against some players in this class. And some of this might be repetitive if you listen to the last episode, but it's all about trying to gauge the value of existing veterans and these new rookies and seeing kind of where we land. So would you rather have Tetairoa McMillan or Ladd McConkey?
Give me Ladd. Give me Ladd McConkey. I got Ladd at receiver 14. Tet is receiver 15 for me. Yeah, man. Ladd just way too good last year.
Yeah, Tetairoa McMillan coming in at 4.6 right now, FFD ADP. Ladd McConkey all the way up there at 307. So almost a round in between these guys right now in the court of public opinion. How about BurdenIII, a guy from last year that underperformed, getting Ben Johnson, a little upgrade. We don't know the status of Keenan Allen quite yet, I don't think. So what's your thoughts? What say you, BurdenIII, Tetairoa McMillan?
So I've got Tet. To tell you the truth, in a perfect world, I would love to trade Tet for Rome plus. Man, I don't think I could get a first on top of that. But like if I could get some serious draft capital, some serious change with Rome, that's a side I'd prefer. It's like Casey, we talk about this and it always makes me feel some type of way because it's like I liked Rome more as a prospect than Tet. Right? I don't know how you feel. I
come on,
definitely.
You know how I feel. You did this all year with me last year.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I know that you're with me regarding that. It just Rome. It's still going to be a minute, and maybe it's next year where Rome goes nuclear. Maybe it's 2 years, 3 years. I'm willing to be patient. I'm willing to wait. I think Rome is a screaming buy low. I think he's one of the most obvious buy lows in all of Dynasty right now. But I'm leaning Tet here again. If this was me though, like in a dynasty startup, I'm taking Tet and I'm looking to trade him for Rome and some real change.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, and I'm probably right there with you. I like the prospect of Rome more than Tet. I could say he would do it straight up right now. The court of public opinion at ADP says 402 Rome, 406 Tet. I mean that could be switched in any draft. If I could get, some decent change on top of it, I would like it. I'd love to see what Dynasty Daddy says Rome's worth right now. That'd be kind of interesting to see in comparison to what Tetairoa McMillan is, who is widely regarded as basically the 102 right now. So I think you could get way more for the 102 than just BurdenIII, right? I think you could get something added to that. So I think you're right on task right there. How about T. Higgins getting the franchise tag? We don't exactly know if he's going to end up in Cincinnati here for the immediate future over the next month or so. He's going to be a Bengal unless something crazy happens. But what do you think? T. Higgins or Tetairoa McMillan?
Really, really close. I've got Tet slightly ahead of him. Man, just say a prayer for T. Higgins. That man is never going to get paid.
I mean, I would say I feel bad for him, but he's getting a few $20 million contracts. He all right.
I know. But this is not Casey. This is the toughest question I'd say so far of this episode. And I'm just gonna again let me hit the re-roll button. I know T's really good. I believe in Tet. I'm gonna take Tet here.
Yeah. And, it's odd. Tet's been one of those prospects that's, you've seen him, initially it was like to the Patriots in the top 5 of the draft. And now like some people are like, he's like, mid 20s in some drafts and mocks. And it's odd. But I feel pretty confident in Tet McMillan. I think I would go Tet over T.
Can I just say that when I was there in person at the combine, the rumors going around, and this is the truth, man. I don't know if it's going to come to fruition. We got a long way to go. We got a month and a half. I don't know what's going to happen, but the rumors going around all weekend from like really legitimate sources were that Tet is falling, and I don't necessarily know why. It felt like Casey, everything you said was spot on, that he was going like top 5, maybe top 10 range. And now it's starting to feel like he's slipping towards the back end of the first. And we clowned Matt Miller for saying Matthew Golden, 12 overall to the Cowboys. There's no way. And one of the biggest rumors this weekend was Matthew Golden will be the first wide receiver off the board in this draft. And man, there's nothing that surprised me more this weekend than hearing that. And I'm not going to tell you put money on it. I'm not going to tell you that's going to actually happen. But that rumor was going around like crazy this weekend. And then when he ran that 4.29, it emphasized everything. And it was just like, holy shit, is this actually gonna happen, man? And now for the first time, I feel uncertain. I really don't know what's gonna happen. Part of me deep down wants to believe, it's still gonna be Tet, the wide receiver 1, but I don't know, man. The smoke screens are actually getting to me more than they probably should. So I don't know.
No, I have a inkling that I don't have any sources, of course, but Matthew Golden does seem like, it seems like because there's been so much up in the air with Tet, that Matthew Golden could easily be, because of what he did at the combine and kind of how he was already trending, could easily supplant him as the wide receiver 1. And it only takes one team to do so. So not for me. I wouldn't do it. I was kind of comfortable where I had Golden, that he ran fast. It doesn't really change a terrible amount for me. I think he's good. I thought he was pretty fast. I didn't think he was that fast. But we'll get to Golden next here. So how about Tet or Michael Penix?
I've got Penix a little bit lower. So I'm going to take Tet here, but he's just one tier below. Man, Penix is another guy, Casey, that it's like he feels like one of the more obvious buy lows this offseason. I feel like I've said that about 2 or 3 guys now over the past episode. But Penix just a screaming buy low in my opinion. I've got him at QB 22, and it's like, what am I doing, man? I got to readjust my rankings.
Yeah. So for me, I'm sitting on the clock at 102. If Tet's the guy that I want, I would rather have Michael Penix than any of the quarterbacks in this draft. And it's not a knock on those quarterbacks. If you've been messing with the FFD for a while, you know how much I love Michael Penix. If you could give, if at the 102, you could give, I could get Michael Penix and another, I don't want to say a throw-in player, but if you give me Michael Penix and Cedric Tillman, I'll get out of there, and instead of drafting Tet, which is kind of the exercise we're doing, right? Tet versus. So that'd be kind of just trying to give an example. That was the first thing that popped into my mind. Haven't really dialed it in, but give me somebody who could be a number 1 and a good receiver, and I like Cedric Tillman in that role. And then I think Michael Penix, quarterback wise, we're talking, and of course we're talking super flex tight end premium. One quarterback, of course, I would never make that move, right? It's not even in the discussion.
Right.
But I do want to clarify that. So, all right, let's go to Matthew Golden, because I think this is an interesting conversation. I think both of us seemingly feel like we would much rather have Tet for the right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. That's how I feel. I was just saying, man, I'm at a point where I don't know what rumor to believe. I genuinely don't know if there's a world that exists where Matthew Golden actually goes before him. But if it was up to me in a dynasty rookie draft, I'm going to take Tet.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Matthew Golden or Chris Olave?
Chris Olave, 100%.
Same. All right, Jalen Waddle,
100%, man.
Same.
These are Casey. Those are my guys. Those again. really underrated wide receivers right there. Really underrated.
All right. How about Bryce Young?
Bryce Young or Matthew Golden? Okay. Like I like Bryce. I do. I like Bryce, but yeah, at this point, man, like just give me Matthew Golden. I don't think Bryce is going to be, I think he's going to be better for NFL purposes than he is for fantasy or dynasty. Right. And that's just who he is, right? That's just his play style. I don't, like Bryce goes out and has a good year, maybe throws for 30, 35 touchdowns, right? Like that's kind of feels like the best outcome, right? Some people are probably like, Bryce sucks, he's a bust, blah, blah, blah. Like he's not even going to have a job in a year or two. Like there's also that side to it. So and I'm in on Bryce. Like I'm a believer, man. I think he's going to continue to take strides in the right direction. But Casey, give me Matthew Golden. Where are you at?
I'll take Bryce Young.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the quarterback here,
Yep.
and this may change everything. You know, I would say I'm much more confident in my evaluation of the running backs at this point than I am in the wide receivers. You know, I spent a lot of time pre-combine dialing in the running backs, not as much time with the wide receivers. And then Matthew Golden has film to watch, but obviously it's not like a crazy amount of film. And then, of course, analytically, the profile I don't think is going to be super complete because, again, not a lot of production profile to really speak of with him. But when you look at him, he came up big in big situations, stepped up when they needed him, and then he blew out the combine. And like, just what a you know, combinations of things to all hit at the right time to make this young man some money. So that's awesome. But again, I don't think it really changes things. And I think pre-combine, I probably would have taken Bryce Young over him. So I think it's closer in my mind now. And maybe by if we have this discussion in April, it's Matthew Golden and what was I thinking? But that's why we do this. And that's why we talk about it. And this is, you know, as we're going through the process, nobody should have all the answers right now. You know, if you want to say you're pretty good with where Ashton Genty is, that's fine. But Golden's like kind of a weird situation that you really have to go back and do a lot of due diligence on and figure out what's what. Obviously, the NFL community really likes him. Obviously, tested really well. And there's the capital's going to be good. Where does he go? If he goes 12 to Dallas, it seems like that's a pretty good landing spot. But I'd probably still take Bryce Young. I don't know. You would take Bryce, or you would take Golden over Bryce. How about Xavier Worthy?
Oh, man.
Matthew Golden, Xavier Worthy.
Got the two Texas wide receivers. I'm slight lean towards Worthy. You know, it's funny because, like, in terms of prospects, like, there's a lot about Golden that I gravitate towards that I would prefer over Worthy. I know we saw him have, like, an all right rookie year, and then heated up at the end of the year, especially in the playoffs, right? But I'm going to go Worthy. Oh, my God. Wow. I kind of want to go Matthew Golden here, and I feel like I just feel like an idiot. Where are you at?
I'll take Worthy.
Yeah, I'm probably just overthinking it. Give me Worthy.
You know, you saw what it could be at the down the stretch, and I feel like he really came around as a rookie. He learned how to play, do, and run some different things. Then, you know, I have a strong feeling that the Chiefs' explosives are going to bounce back in a big way here coming up. I think they're going to come out, which there's no reason for them to have a chip on their shoulder, but I feel like this offense has been mocked a little bit here for a minute. And I feel like if we could get Rashi healthy, and I don't know what's going to happen with Hollywood, if he's going to come back on a cheap deal or not, but they were trying to get back there this year, and Worthy was supposed to be, you know, this fun thing that they could have and play with for the season. And then he had to step into a big boy role. And by the end of the season, he was playing a hell of a big boy role, right? As well as, you know, the manufactured gimmicky stuff, as well as being a true wide receiver. So that's kind of what I would want to see. Obviously not built like Golden is, but runs faster. So, I mean, I've seen it in the pros, so I like it. How about Devonta Smith or Golden?
You got to go Smith here. Got to go Smith.
You going Devonta?
Yeah, he's such a good wide receiver, man.
He's a great wide receiver. I think
Stop it. Stop. I'm not letting you. Don't do it. You know I'm right here.
Yeah, because of Saquon and what he does for that team. I feel like, and we don't know where Golden's going to be and what the landing spot is, right? But I think Devonta Smith is a very good and polished receiver. And as far as like what the player is, I'd rather have. But situationally, I think because like I just feel like there's a lot to kind of divvy up for Philadelphia, and they're not going to. And we'll see. Again, they're switching coordinators, right? It was great to start with. They switched coordinators. It wasn't great, and then they got Kellen Moore back to being good, and we'll see what happens with the new coordinator. But I feel like that pie with Jalen Hurts and how they did it last year was hard to trust. Devonta week in, week out, even though I think he's a dog. Like I think he's excellent. Yeah. And I maybe I would put my foot in my mouth if I had everything in front of me right this second. But I'm gonna go Golden. All right, let's switch to Egbuka as your wide receiver 2, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. All right, let's start a little lower here. Egbuka or Ricky Pearsall, yourself. Let's put you versus Egbuka.
I'm going to take Egbuka here. And Casey, I just want to say that Egbuka and Luther Burden are neck and neck for me, man. My gut, I almost want to take Burden. I'll tell you what. I think I'm just going to put Burden at 2 and Egbuka at 3. I feel like Burden's just grown on me lately, man. I just think he's underrated.
Yeah, I love you know where I stand, and the listeners know where I stand. If you've been rocking with us, he's my guy.
Do you like him?
Oh yeah, love. That's my kryptonite of player styles is Luther.
So is he your 2?
Yeah.
As well.
Yes.
Okay. So
yeah,
gotcha.
So I'll take Egbuka over Ricky. But it's getting harder and harder for where the Niners are going, and we saw some good play out of Ricky. We'll see. All right. So how about you mentioned DJ Moore with Caleb, Ben Johnson, Rome, or Egbuka?
So DJ Moore is my wide receiver 27. I've got Egbuka at 28. They're in the same tier. Obviously, they're neck and neck. But as we talk about this out loud, to me, I think I should have DJ Moore like not much higher, but they feel too close to me, right? I feel like DJ Moore deserves to be candidly above Egbuka. That's just how I feel. Where are you at on this?
I think I'm still going DJ Moore here.
Yep.
I think I'm taking DJ Moore.
He's such a good wide receiver. He really is.
He is. And I think Ben Johnson will bring the best out of him and figure out how to use him and get him back to kind of where he was. And I think, we'll see the best out of Caleb. And they're making good O-line adjustments right now. They've grabbed Tooney and Jackson over the last day in some trades. So shoring up the interior a little bit. So hopefully less pressure on Caleb and be able to get the ball out to where he needs to get it. And I think DJ Moore can operate in a lot of different ways on the field and will be good for that offense and be very interesting deployment for DJ. So I like DJ still. How about Jordan Addison or Egbuka?
Give me Jordan Addison, man. I got him at wide receiver 21. I think that consensus needs to start to figure it out with Addison, man. I think they need to put more respect on his name because he is such a good wide receiver.
Yeah, Egbuka, and what that comes down to is JJ, good, and we think he is. We just need him to be able to be on Sam Darnold's level, and then I don't have a problem with that at all. Jordan, people sleep on how good of a player Jordan Addison was for some reason. Dude was just a boss at Pittsburgh, and then went over to USC for a minute. But right now, Jordan Addison, wide receiver 27. 702, Egbuka, wide receiver 28, 703. So back-to-back Addison and Egbuka there. As we get into this bunch of Burden, Egbuka, and I don't know that Golden's quite there yet, but I like Trey Harris a lot. So I'd probably group him in here with those guys. And Trey Harris value right now is fantastic, and I hope it doesn't change. I love some Trey Harris.
Trey Harris had some great interviews this week, man. And somebody asked him top 5 wide receivers. He had Jamar at 1, Justin Jefferson 2, AJ Brown 3, CeeDee Lamb 4, and number 5.
Wild. Who's the 5th?
Yeah, number 5. Trey Harris said that Devonta Smith, top 5 wide receiver in football, and that tweet kind of blew up. But It's cool. It's cool to see, these upcoming prospects no ball and like recognize that like Devonta Smith is a really good wide receiver. Like, sure, I don't agree with him that he's top 5 in football, but like I think he's wildly underrated is what I'm getting at,
Yeah. I like it. All right, let's go. Let's do Luther Burden and then maybe we'll get out of here. Luther Burden or Brandon Ayuk.
I'm going to still go.
I'm taking Luther.
Okay. Here's the thing, Casey. I got Ayuk just above him, but as we're talking about this out loud and I'm just thinking about what's going on with San Francisco, just being at the combine, talking to Luther in person and seeing him, complete all the drills. What I'm getting at is I want to go Luther as well.
Yeah. Well, it's just like Luther said, it's never too much. So, if you don't know who Luther Vandross is, you should Google it and at least listen to Never Too Much. Great song. But that was a bad joke, I guess. I don't know. Luther Burden. It's never too much. So I'm doing Luther over Ayuk. Is Luther crossing into Olave territory or is it still soundly Olave for you over Luther?
I'm going to take Olave, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that will, I think most people listening actually would just say we're kind of concerned or done with or just going to pivot from Olave and let's go take, the new shiny toy. So I think a lot of people would probably lean Burden here. I'm going to go Chris Olave.
I'm right. I'm with you. I'm gonna rock with him. All right. How about you were in Indy, you got the Colts hat on, Luther Burden or Anthony Richardson?
And obviously we're talking super flex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
of course,
I still think it's A-Rich. I think you still have to go A-Rich just because of his, again, his upside, the fact that he's a quarterback, the fact that it's super flex, like all the obvious reasons. With that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if I looked silly in a year from now, but I'm still going to take Casey. This is the final year where I'll give A-Rich a chance. When we look back in 5-10 years, I don't think the Colts are going to have immense success with him. I'll just be brutally honest. I don't think we're going to hoist a Lombardi with him. I don't think we're going to go on to just be this team that's going deep into the playoffs. But that doesn't mean that he can't thrive for fantasy purposes. So I'm still going to go A-Rich.
I think, again, probably a cop-out here for me. I don't think that I don't know that the opinion of Anthony Richardson, I think people would run to take your first-round pick for the value of Luther Burden for what Anthony Richardson is currently, right? I think something in the 2s gets it done for Anthony Richardson at this point. So for that reason, as far as just value contention, I would still take Luther, but I understand what you're saying, and I think Anthony Richardson I'm still with you. I'm not out on Anthony Richardson really at all. I think again, if Anthony Richardson comes and puts off-season work in and comes and be the leader that we need him to be and the Colts need him to be and steps it up and takes this seriously and stops saying silly things like the pros are easier than college and yada yada yada, and takes this very seriously and is training with Josh Allen and is wanting to compete at the highest level, then I think this would be a nice trade and I think you could move back off Luther, get you back into the second round, and probably still find a way to get Anthony Richardson in that deal. So I would lean Luther with the value, but I think Anthony Richardson on your team could make a bigger difference than Luther Burden,
right?
Fantasy wise. So I understand kind of where you're going there. How about JJ McCarthy? We'll stick with the quarterbacks here for a second. JJ McCarthy, because I do think people would trade a late first for JJ McCarthy right now.
JJ McCarthy versus Luther Burden.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Luther.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be screaming at the screen saying you got to take JJ in the system, but my kryptonite, I'm going Luther too. I think most people in the comments are taking Luther there, man. Okay. That's the fun pick. You got to take the rookie, right? Yeah. How about Zay Flowers? Because this was I kind of have them akin to each other, and I'm not saying that they're the same player, but I fell in love with Zay because of his play style. And I fell in love with Luther because of his play style. What you think there?
It's Zay 100%.
I'm going Luther.
Well, stop. No way. Are you serious?
It's never too much, man.
Dude, I have Zay as my wide receiver 16, and he's right around that. Like, he's just above guys like, Rome and Jordan Addison and Waddle. Like, as I am very much in on Zay. It took me a minute to get there, but he's shown that he's that dude.
I think most people think that Zay's tapped out of where he can go and what he can be and what he is, and he's just like a wide receiver 2, which is fine. If he just ends up being a career wide receiver 2, that's great. Like, and if that was what if that's what your first round 109 netted you, then that's decent. That's good. But I don't think so. I think we're just scratching the surface with Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson. I think this can go even higher and get even crazier. And unfortunately, Zay didn't leave off with a good taste in your mouth, because you didn't get to see him in the playoff games at the end of the season with Baltimore, where Zay could have went out there and had 6 for 156 and 2, like he was on his way to having against Kansas City in last year's playoff, until he had crazy fumbles. I don't know if those are the exact numbers, but what I was getting at was that fumbles one going into the end zone, was having a good game, and I think him and Lamar are the perfect marriage, but I'm still taking Luther in that case there, but just by a hair. All right, let's find somebody else here. How about Xavier Worthy? Xavier Worthy or Luther Burden?
Luther Burden.
Luther Burden.
Where you at?
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, come on, man. You can't tell me that you have Worthy over Zay Flowers. Is that what you're getting at? No way.
Same tier, I think.
Stop
same tier.
Either you're drunk or I'm drunk, but we're both. But
I love that he's attached to Mahomes, and I think the people are down on Mahomes, and I love what I saw from Xavier Worthy this year. And again, I think you're just scratching the surface for what that is. I'll take Luther.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. It's just for the sake. All right.
I'll be able to sleep tonight now.
I said we'd get out of here on this one, but I do want to hit on Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren or Sam Laporta?
Jaylen Warren or Sam Laporta?
Or sorry, Tyler Warren. Sorry. I do want to touch on Tyler Warren.
I know what you meant.
Or Sam Laporta.
Tyler Warren or Sam Laporta. I have Warren as my tight end 3, and I have Laporta as my tight end 4.
Give me Warren. It seems like you're the same.
Yep.
All right, let's see. All right, since we've solved the tight end conundrum there, how about Tyler Warren or Bucky Irving?
Give me
tight end premium 1.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tyler Warren here.
I think I'm with you. I probably should take Bucky, and I feel like all I'm doing is slandering Bucky in these last 2 episodes, and I hate it.
Oh my god! Okay, you know what, man? I've got Bucky ahead of him, and I'm
gonna lean Bucky here. I'm gonna lean Bucky here, but it's close.
I made these rankings 2 weeks ago. I have Bucky ahead of him. As we're talking about it, I want to go Tyler Warren.
Yeah. I'm going to lean Bucky here, but my first initial snap response is Warren, and that's, usually the call. I'm going to stick with Bucky here. How about you went Warren there? All right, well, let's just end it with this. How high are you taking Warren in the rookie class here? Like, if you're working up the charts here, is it Travion Henderson or Warren?
I think that's where the question actually is, right? I think I think they're neck and neck. Before the combine, I had Tyler Warren just ahead of Travion. Right now, Casey, this is as close as you could possibly get for me. Because I want to bump Travion up a hair. You know what? Give me Travion. I don't even feel great about it. They're just so close for me, man. I feel very confident in both prospects. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. Is what I'm getting at.
I'll close with this, that I think after the 101, if you want to take Tyler Warren at the 102, I'm not even going to be mad at you.
Right.
And that's how strongly I feel about Tyler Warren and what he could be. And I know late breakout age, like this is just one of those times where crumble that stat up, throw it in the garbage, and I just don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Like Theo Johnson was out there. Theo Johnson's good player, but Tyler Warren came out there and just turned that shit upside down and was their offense as far as, through the air receiver wise, and just super athletic, huge grown man. I'll go, Tyler Warren as high as 1-2 in this rookie draft for me, tight end premium. And then you put it, if it's 2 point, it's Tyler Warren at the 102.
I don't mind it, man. This 2025 rookie class is shaping up to look pretty nice, huh?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, man. I really don't understand the hate, and I've said it a million times. I'm sure people are hard. And I talk about it every year about how aggressively people just get in and out on these class, and we get prospect fatigue and, waxes and wanes. But I feel like we just had a great combine from pretty much everybody you wanted to have it from. Right. And so all this should have just gotten stronger. And I don't think I've quite felt the love from everybody again from this moving up. And I just don't know if we need some of the bigger pundits to get in here. And we're getting close to probably those bigger name guys running their models and doing things of sort. But like, man, oh man, I think it just, Matthew Golden is a good example, right? Like, where does he come up in the first round to take somebody's place? And I guess if he's if the Patriots take him at 104 or whatever they have, I guess then you start doing that. But like, how does he fit into the first round? Do you take him over the 2 quarterbacks? Do you take him over the 5 running backs? I'm probably not. And then you have Luther Burden, Egbuka. I'm probably taking those guys over him still. So it's like was he 112, 111 for me at that point from naming all those guys. And I like Trey Harris a lot. I like Devin Neal a lot. So I don't know. That's again, just reiterating how good this first, round is. And then, I mean, you kind of have a similar thing in the second round, man. Like you get all the way to like 208 and it's still, guys like Jaden Higgins and Royals and Ao Manor. Like I think Ao Manor had a good combine, right?
It felt like everybody did. It was
Right.
bizarre, man. And if you remember, like the one running back last year who had a really bad combine was Bucky Irving, and he ended up being candidly the best rookie running back last year. So it just goes to show you. I know it's another piece to the puzzle, the combine, and yes, I do like it. A lot of us do.
Of course.
But like there comes a point where it's like, does it really matter? Like Bucky just kind of threw it all in the garbage. It was like, I'm really like that, and So, but look. Anytime you have a good combine, I'm not going to be mad about it.
No, right. There's nothing to be upset about. But like, again, to your point, like we've had Bucky, and then we had Puka, and we had Kyron Williams. Like, so like the last 3, and there's probably more guys. Those are just the ones that stick out that have been awesome, who didn't do well at the combine or other. Right. So that's a good way to wrap it up. Austin, always a pleasure, man. This was a great exercise. I hope you guys got some value out of it. Make sure you go follow Austin on the Twitters at Austin Abbott FF. 2 B's, 2 T's, 2 F's. We're going to get the FF out of here. Please like, subscribe, follow, 5-star review on the podcast if you haven't already. If you want more content, you can get some premium content for a $5, $10 holler over on the Discord. There's also a free Discord. Make sure you check that out. But until next time, I'm Casey. He's Austin. He's the man. Check him out. Peace.